Round your finger, dizzy from being spun, hung on every word, yeah, every.
Hey crew, welcome back to another episode of Garage 80. This one's just a real quick update. I didn't feel much content while I was working on the car this week. But I thought I'd give you just a really quick rundown of what I have done in the last couple of days. So you might notice the car's got some different wheels on the back. As I said in a previous episode, looking to sell those 17-inch VT SS rims that are still on the front at the moment. So I've just swapped the back ones over with a set of 15-inch rims, and I haven't got around to actually taking the front ones off yet, so I haven't advertised them yet. But again, if you're keen, you're in Adelaide, give us a shout. The tyres on them are nearly brand new, and the rims themselves aren't in too bad a condition. And you might notice it's a little bit lower than last time too. In fact, it's actually sitting how it is at the moment. It's got no springs and no shocks in it at the moment, so it's sitting pretty much as low as you can get one of these utes without making any chassis modifications, etc. So it won't stay that height. It'll go up a bit, but I do like the look of it at that height. If I could keep it like that, I'd love to, but not real practical either, because you can't actually get a jack under the car very easily. So I mostly took the springs out because I was jacking it up to take the wheels off anyway. I knew the bump stops were buggered and the shocks was worn out, and so I figured I may as well just take them out while I had the car up in the air, ready for some new ones to go in, which I'll need to order. But the main thing is I did a little bit of welding this week. And admittedly I don't weld, but I thought rather than bogging up a few holes in the tub rails, I thought we'd just actually have a crack at welding. So I bought myself a cheap MIG welder and welded up a few holes on the tub rails. It used to have little snap buttons that had been installed on there, and they had a whole heap of holes drilled along there for those snaps to go in. So that's what I was welding up, is all those holes, and didn't come out too bad. So definitely filled all the holes up okay. So next step will be then to essentially get all those rails in etch primer, do a bit of body work over where I've filled the holes, get rid of a few little dents and scratches in them, and then ready for paint. You might also notice there's a big piece of pipe sticking out the back of the ute where an exhaust would be. No reason for that apart from I had the welder out, I had a bit of pipe there, so I thought, why not, I'll practice my welding a bit more, and so welded on a 2.5-inch pipe. That certainly won't stay on the car. It looks a bit ridiculous in how far it sticks out. Or it might end up staying there, but I'll definitely cut it back to a more normal length as well. So we'll just get up and give you a quick little tour. Sorry, not a tour, a little bit of an update on the welding. So on the back here, you can see there was a hole there, another one there. You can still just make out, it's got a little pinhole in that one that I welded up. And same as you go along all of those, and exact same thing along this side. So was a hole in here. That's still got a deep scratch in it where I used an angle grinder to cut a bit of metal off of it, and a whole series of holes that were along there are now all filled and gone. So next step for the rails is it's got these little bits there, and same on the other side, that have just been spot welded on. So I need to remove those because that just has a rail going across from one side to the other for your tonneau cover, but I'll either run a hard lid on this or nothing at all, so there's no need for those. So just get them taken off, drill them out and make it look a bit neater. They've just got a few spot welds on them, so which this one I've started taking off already. I think 2 spot welds on either side, 1 and 2. One there, and another down the bottom that I haven't quite got to yet. So 4 to drill out, and then they'll come off as well. That's that. Extremely long exhaust pipe there. The springs and shockers took out of it, so it had some Pettis springs in it. They're a little bit higher than what I'd want in there, so I'll either cut them down a little bit or get some different springs. I'll show you these shocks if I can get it on camera here with one hand. So just bear with me a second, the poor camera work, and I'll show you how good or bad they were. Pettis Comfort Gas or something from reading that label. So if we push them down, you guys will know that a shocker should spring back up. This one just stays exactly where I pushed it down, so it's completely out of gas and leaking. So they'll go. I've been looking online at what shocks I can get, and there's a Munro GT gas shock that's for lowered vehicles, so I think I'll probably end up with those unless I find something else. These are just the rubber rings that sit on top of the springs themselves, and that's the bump stop. So these bump stops actually bolt in with 3 bolts to the top of the tub and sit like that at the top. This one's either been cut down, which is pretty common for these, for to get the cars a little bit lower, people will often cut down the bump stops. So I'm not sure if that one's cut down, or it's broken. So this one here, it's definitely tearing apart. So they look like they were probably Pettis ones as well. So at some point in time, someone spent a little bit of money on upgrading the suspension of this car. When I was taking out all the... Oh, sorry, Siri thinks I'm talking to it. When I was taking out all the springs, I noticed a lot of bushes in the back are definitely well worn out, which is no surprise for a car with 300,000 Ks on it and probably minimal maintenance. So I'll get stuck into those as well. Next sort of things that we'll look at doing is I really got to get stuck into actually getting it started again. So petrol tank I haven't progressed on anymore at all. That's probably the next bit. I thought, well, we've got the tank out though. Might be time to actually paint inside where the tank goes. So I've still got a bit of dirt in there, so I'll clean that up. And then I thought for the tub, I'll probably end up just doing it in a Raptor liner. So while the tank's out, I think I might just coat all of where the tank goes in that Raptor liner sort of paint, just a black Raptor liner. Put the tank in, connect up all the fuel hoses, and then we'll hope that it starts up with the new fuel pump and sender unit in it as well. For people that have got the Utes, the sender units on these they have a return line that connects to a surge tank inside the fuel tank itself, which unless you've got really tiny arms and hands, you can't get in there to connect them up. So I found a different way that I can connect it up, which we'll have a crack at as well. And I saw someone else online that painted their tank in a silver colour, and I actually really like the look of it. I know no one's going to see it, but I've painted mine up in a satin black, which is now really dusty, but I think I really like the look of these silver tanks, so I'll probably end up doing that as well, because I've got some spare silver just sitting in the shed ready to go. These are the wheels. That'll be up for sale soon, or up for sale now essentially. I'm just going to unbolt the two off the front as well. As you can see, if the light picks it up, that tread is pretty much brand new, and the wheels are actually in pretty reasonable condition, so chuck us an offer if you're keen. And then hopefully next episode we'll actually get into giving that interior a clean too. So it's getting pretty dark here now, so it's hard to see in there, but trust me, it's filthy. Alright, I'll get back to my favourite view of the car, which is just how low it's sitting at the moment. shame I can't keep it. I won't keep it drivable. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. Catch up with you next time. Next time, I promise you I'll get you some footage of the actual work being done on the car. I just got lazy this time around because it's just too much of a busy week with building a retaining wall at the moment. I'm also working on a scooter, 50cc scooter, so tune into that. I've got a few episodes up on YouTube with that on there at the moment as well, so if you're keen on watching me build a scooter, that's up there. And then in between working full time as well, it doesn't leave me with a lot of time, but I promise you I'll get you some better footage for next episode. And not sure yet, it'll either be getting the tank installed, firing it up, cleaning the interior, or getting those rails ready for paint. All right, take it easy. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a like, subscribe. That really helps encourage me to keep building. So appreciate you guys. Cheers.
Round your finger, dizzy from being spun, hung on every word, yeah, every single one. So this is not for none. Promise to say you're not